All right, got the Sharpie, so here we go. Let's see. We'll use these. Cut off a few more. Actually, we'll use these, the beefier ones. What we're gonna do is get a couple. We'll call this one. One. We'll call this one. We'll call this one two. Three. It's hard for me to see the camera. Four. All right, we got enough in this one. Probably not going to be able to see it. And we'll call it 5. I can see it. Sorry if you can't. All right, so that's 5. All right. So, numero uno. Need a second pair of hands. We'll use this with no ventilation, not recommended. All right. So when I glued up the tracks, I used the Revell contact on this portion. Then I came back later and here we go. Used a Tamiya extra thin that flows like water. Certainly doesn't smell like water. And worked it into the gaps here just enough so it'll go down into the gaps, squeeze it and glue it, but without enough to run down to the pivot points. So I've used these 2 glues already on the tracks. So we're gonna just, so I did this one, but really need to get more on this one. Give it a fair test. All right. Nice clamping action, bond it. All right. Ah, shit. See, that didn't go so well. But I also didn't give it long enough. All right, so let's do this. Give it just a little bit longer. That's why we want to give it 24 hours. Also going to look to see if it just sticks or if it melts it. So we're actually looking for it to melt the plastic or weld the plastic by melting it together. I mean, that's the whole purpose of using a strong, nasty chemical like acetone, ethyl acetate, xylene, benzene. I'm not sure what ABS glue is made of. I think it's even stronger than this stuff, hence being able to melt it. So the thing is, if the ABS glue can melt ABS, then it's going to be able to melt polystyrene. So yes, it'll work. The question is, do you have to go out and specially buy ABS plastic or ABS glue for these? So you could use it, I'd imagine, I'm sure, because the other guy demonstrated it, but is it necessary? All right, so that was one. Again, we got to give that, it's strong. Got to give that 24 hours. Let's do, need flat surfaces here. Where are we going to do these? All right. Here we go. Could try and do it here, couldn't we? Here we go. 2, 2, 2. See if we get some flat surfaces here. What I think we'll try and do is, some of these take a bit to get flowing. This one actually might be jammed. Let's see. All right, so this one doesn't want to flow, so now's an opportunity to... Some guys will heat this up with a match. That can be very risky because it is flammable. Not recommended. So most of them come with a very thin wire that you can use just to poke it out. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, you can smell that. All right, now we got some flow. So we're going to put it on this side. Put it on this side. Give it a few seconds to, if it's going to, melt the plastic. Put this back on. 2. Again, the Revell cement. That's strong stuff. N-butyl acetate, flammable liquid. May cause drowsiness or dizziness. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that stuff. It's a little tougher because it's 2 round surfaces. They are straight and flat, just the contact point isn't that great. But the hope is that it's actually melting the plastic, welding it together, so you're getting a bond there. We're gonna find out though, aren't we? See, these don't want to stay. So you're not gonna get as strong a bond with a curved surface because your contact points are very limited. But for our purposes, we should be able to tell if it actually welds or not. That's all I care about. Versus if it's not melting it and welding it, yeah, theoretically could just kind of come apart on its own. So this is 2. So if I actually had flatter surfaces, might be a better test, but this will serve our purposes. All right, 3. Now these really, I haven't used these in a while, and these do not want to flow very well. So that's the problem with these, is that instead of the metal tip that this one has, flows pretty well once you get started, and if you use it, she flows a little too much, see? These flow pretty well, pretty fast, pretty high, so they're good in that sense. I've seen a lot of complaints about these, is that they're just such a pain in the butt to get them to flow, and they are. Because it uses this plastic tip, and a very small hole, and there's like a stop. It doesn't go very deep. It only goes that deep. So it seems like there's something in there blocking it as well. So I guess I can smell it though. So I guess you could say the positive is it flows a little bit slower. So if you need to something that doesn't flow as fast. All right, and this is 3. So we'll put 3 here, 3 here. All right, so let's see if we can get this sucker to flow. This is usually necessary. So I'll give you an example too of how well these containers actually work. Ugh. This is a pain in the butt. It will flow eventually. Sometimes it takes a little bit of stimulation. Come on, baby. Starting to come. There we go. All right. Got that one. Let's see. We'll do this one. All right. Like the Revell contact cement, this takes few seconds to a minute or two to actually start working on the plastic. We want it now we want it to go back. Sometimes these have a tendency to still flow even when you're doing it this way. All right. Hopefully that will stop. All right. We did use a lot of glue. So normally if I'm building and I've got joints, I won't use so much glue so it's visible, but we want to give it as fair a test as possible. That looks like it's actually possibly melting and welding. I do have a spray booth sitting to my right here that often I'll turn on and vent to the outside when I'm gluing, but it's got a wicked loud fan. So I'm not going to use it now because it's going to drown out the audio. This actually seems to be bonding pretty fast, faster than that contact cement. And again, this is number 3. I haven't used this much, mostly because of how it flows or lack of flow. But that's got a pretty good bond already. All right. So 3. Four. There we go. Ooh, the odors are getting strong. Hopefully I don't pass out on video. All right. 3 like 4 also comes with a plastic tip. Not the best thing in the world. I used to use the non-toxic for a while and it did a pretty good job. But now that I'm older, I worry less about that. can't live forever. All right. But if you're young, make sure you use good ventilation. Actually, this one smells a little funky. All right. Again, 4. We've got number 4 here. Come on. Sometimes you gotta pump it. Wow, this is a pain. Again, I've only had these for 6 months because at the time, these weren't available. These are out of production. So, but when I first bought these, I go, ah, that's not so bad. No, this is a real pain in the butt. Nothing. Ah, there we go. Where is it? There it is. I don't know. All right. So again, the good news is it doesn't flow so fast, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, just running out, because this flows fast. Oh, it does have a citrusy smell. But getting it started is the pain. Once it's started, it's not so bad. So if you started and you're working with it, if I recall, the non-toxic stuff is not as strong in melting the plastic. So this may take a little bit longer. All right. So we'll let it sit for a second. Gotta make sure it stops flowing. Put the cap on. Leave it upright. All right. Give it some pressure. Giving it as much pressure I can without forcing it to slide off. Yeah, there's definitely not bonding as well as the red one. Of course, I don't think I let it sit there as long either. All right, so this is number 4. I want to give it just a little bit more time and see if it's going to melt. Oh, it does not seem like it's going to melt. Yeah, that does not. I'm going to stop working this. Problem is now I have some on my finger. So it's now sticking to my finger. All right, that does not seem like it wants to stick. So we're going to come back to this in a second. So this is number 1. And again, we are going to give it, try and give it 24 hours, but if it can't survive this, then I don't think we're going to have any luck. Okay, that's 1. This is 2, the contact cement. All right, that seems to be holding. And this is 3. The tester's red stuff. I'm not putting much torque on this because again we haven't given it long enough. All right, and then this is number 4. So again, all of this is to find out if we truly need an ABS level glue. Ooh, this one is not looking good. All right, I'm expecting this one to fail. All right. All right, and the last one will be number 5, 20-year-old Model Master Cement. Oh yeah. Again, what's nice about this is it also has the, ooh, never noticed, it's a bigger metal glue tip, slightly larger, I think. Oh, no. Yeah, they're about the same than the Revell. All right. So this is number 5. So I haven't used this one in months. So I don't know if it's going to flow or not. But again, yeah, when you do that, you can smell it. Break up the clog. Yeah, there we go. What I liked about this one is this one doesn't flow overly fast as well. So this one had the perfect flow rate, not too fast, not too slow. You could squeeze it to get what you wanted. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. So we'll let that do its magic. Sure, be a problem. All right, I'll fix you later. Again, this one, I guess the problem is once you get it started, for whatever reason, it keeps flowing, even defying gravity. So you have to get it to stop flowing. Now the tip is out too long. Good golly. Come on. What the hell? All right. That's what happens when you leave it for a long, long time and don't use it. All right. This has actually started to dry a little bit, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of melting. Sometimes that needs pressure. Ooh, yeah, we got some. I don't think we're going to be able to see it. We got a nice bead of either glue or I think that's melted plastic. So that was the Model Master. I really do think this is the melted plastic. So that's what we're looking for. Although I gotta stop messing with it. All right, stop messing with it. And that is number 5. All right. So I'm not gonna do this one because one, it doesn't feel like there's much in there. It's probably the same stuff as that last one. All right, so we're gonna give that 24 hours. We'll come back to it and then we'll show you the results as to how well it's bonded, welded.